Boss Spearman and his crew, Charlie, big-hearted Mose, and the teenage hand Button, are free grazers, drifting cattle across open country with no fenced land of their own. A brutal overnight storm pins them down, but it also gives us the shape of the group. Boss steady and watchful, Charlie quiet and lethal, Mose warm and easygoing, Button eager to prove himself. When supplies run low, Boss sends Mose into the nearby town of Harmonville to restock. He doesn't come back by dark, worried. Boss and Charlie ride in themselves, leaving Button to guard the herd. In town they learn the truth. The local cattle baron, Denton Baxter, controls everything. The marshal, the businesses, the law itself. And he wants free grazers like Boss gone. Baxter's men have beaten Mose and thrown him in jail on invented charges. Boss and Charlie pay to get him out and find him badly hurt. A doctor, Barlow, patches him up as best he can, warning he shouldn't travel, but they have no choice. Back at camp, the danger isn't over. While Boss and Charlie are away confronting riders who've been scouting the herd, Baxter's men attack the camp itself. When Boss and Charlie return, they find their dog dead, Mose murdered, and Button shot and unconscious. Boss digs the bullet out himself. It's the turning point. What started as a dispute over grazing land is now personal. Charlie wants to ride out for revenge immediately. Boss holds him back. Button needs a real doctor, so they bury Mose and head back into town, guns ready, knowing it may cost them everything. Along the way, a rare quiet moment. Charlie opens up about his violent past, a childhood killing, a war, years of hired gun work. The first time Boss has heard any of it in 10 years riding together. They bring Button to Dr. Barlow's house, where his sister Sue treats him instead. She's sharp, unafraid, and unimpressed by Baxter's reputation. As Button recovers, Boss quietly reveals something Charlie never knew either. He was married once, and lost his wife and child to illness years ago. It's why he never settled down. Watching Button cling to life, Boss vows that if the boy pulls through, he'll see him have a real home. Tensions in town keep rising. The marshal confronts Boss and Charlie in the street, all but promising violence. That night, after a tense misunderstanding with Sue leaves Charlie shaken, he and Boss go to the saloon, where the bartender is too frightened of Baxter to even serve them. Charlie fires a shot into the ceiling just to be heard. It's here the town's fear of Baxter becomes plain, and here that ordinary townspeople start quietly taking Boss and Charlie's side, including the stable owner Percy, and a store owner who witnessed Mose's beating and saw how hard he fought back before he was overwhelmed. Percy warns them Baxter's deputies are lying in wait near the stables. Rather than run, Boss and Charlie strike first, ambushing the marshal and his men one by one and locking them in their own jail cells. With the law temporarily out of the way, they return to check on Button, who's awake and improving. In a tender scene, Charlie finally tells Sue the truth about who he is and what he's done. She tells him she already knows exactly what kind of man he is, and gives him a locket for luck before he rides out to face Baxter. Before the final fight, Boss and Charlie make peace with what's coming. They buy fine chocolates and cigars, half joking that if it's their last day, they may as well enjoy it. Charlie leaves money and instructions with Percy, in case he doesn't survive. In a rare personal moment, the two men finally trade real names. Charlie is really Charles Pustawaite. Boss is really Bluebonnet Spearman, a name he swears Charlie to secrecy over. Then the shooting starts. Charlie opens the fight by killing Butler, the gunman responsible for Mose's death and Button's shooting. What follows is a chaotic, street-wide gun battle. Baxter tries to use a captured Button as a shield, but the wounded boy, with Sue shielding him, manages to fire the first shot that breaks the standoff. The townspeople, finally done being afraid, join the fight alongside Boss and Charlie. One by one, Baxter's men, and finally the corrupt marshal, are killed. Baxter himself, mortally wounded, barricades himself in the jailhouse. Boss finishes it, refusing him any mercy. With Baxter's grip on the town finally broken, the aftermath is quiet. Charlie tells Sue he intends to leave. Old habits, old fears, but comes back to her, admits he loves her, and proposes. She accepts without hesitation. Having delivered their final herd, Boss and Charlie decide their days of driving cattle are over. Charlie stays behind to build a life with Sue. The two old partners say their goodbyes and ride out one last time.